हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on this chapter where the sages they're actually trying to pacify King Vena and trying to help him understand that what he's going to get. So they are giving him the benefits which he are going to get. So very nice principles he is explaining. We'll just go through a few things. So Brahmanas were feeling responsibility for doing that mistake. So they wanted to help, but it didn't work out. So we discussed this. This is the problem of this material world. Dukkha aushadam tadapi dukkham atad diyaha. The solutions become the problem in this material world. And this is a very typical example. They try to solve it with something, but it became a greater problem. And all it's in all cases. The only solution is Krishna conscious. Other than that, any solution is a greater problem. So it's like allopathy medicines, we have side effects. But here, the side effects are bigger than the original problem also, like that. So we appointed this Vena king of the state in order to give protection to the citizens, but now he has become the enemy of the citizens. Despite all these discrepancies, we should at once try to pacify him. By doing so, we may not be touched by the sinful results caused by him. So they know that they are responsible for it and then they're going to get reaction also. The saintly sages continued thinking, of course, we are completely aware of his mischievous nature, yet nevertheless, we enthroned Vena. If we cannot persuade King Vena to accept our advice, we will be condemned by public and we will join them. Thus, by our powers, we shall burn him to ashes. So, we will be condemned by public. And so they understood that the general people are getting into trouble. So, interestingly, there will be no rebellion in that time. So, if you go for any other cultures, other civilizations, there is always a rebellion. But in Vedic culture, there is no problem of rebellion. The citizens need not worry that, no, okay, we'll all come together and dethrone King Vena. No, that is done by the responsible people. The Brahmanas are there. So they take the responsibility of doing the job. So they just have to wait and request some Brahmanas, no, what is our situation, how we should do. So here he is just condemned and but the action is not done. They are not running into the palace with their weapons and attacking and destroying. Now we see many times this happens recently in the neighboring country also. They they stormed into the palace or whatever, the house of the prime minister, and they destroyed everything. So this is not actually the Vedic way of doing. In Vedic culture, there was never a revolution like this. It was not needed only because the Brahmanas are there, they were ready to do the responsibility. So that's the reason Hiranyakashipu, he was not afraid of the common people. You know, I can deal with them. He was afraid of the sages only. That is the reason he performed more austerities than all the sages. The greatest austerity was performed by Bhrugumani. So Bhrugumani, he is considered that the after Brahma, Bhrugu did most tapasya. So Hiranyakashipu thought I should do more tapasya than Bhrugu so that his curse won't affect. Because you know the story of Vena. By the time he comes, he have heard Vena is killed by the curse of Brahmanas. They say 4 Kumaras they cursed Vena and he died. So he thought I should do more austerity so that they cannot and they will not be able to. So that was the power of the Kshatriyas. So the most powerful people in the society were always Brahmanas only, not Kshatriyas in one level. So that's why the general mass of the people They don't have to work with, means they don't have to worry about it. They said somebody will take care of us. So, and here Lord Chaitanya is telling if for Kali Yuga, for us, we have to only chant Hare Krishna. Under the circumstances, instead of actively taking part in politics, so this is very important for us. We need not actively take under these circumstances, instead of actively taking part in politics, saintly person should engage in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. By the gaze of Lord Chaitanya, the general people will can derive all benefits without political implications. This is because why? The Brahmanas do not even have the power to perform sacrifices in which animals are put into fire to attain new life. Because these Brahmanas are not powerful. That is the reason we have to just take shelter of the holy name. And so then the sages, they approached King Vena, concealing their real anger. They were very upset with him, but they try to, and they pacify with his sweet words. They say, the great said, Dear King, we have come to give you good advice. Kindly hear it with a great attention. By doing so, your duration of life and your openness, strength, and reputation will increase. So they are telling what benefits he will get when we do, because this is how what motivates a person. Samadana Danda Bedopa. So you give first the benefits. What benefits you get when you do this activity, and everybody is motivated with that only. So they tried. So this is the instructions are given. The kings are very responsible in taking the instructions given by the great saintly personality. So that was the system. So and they actually promise. First they say here you will enjoy, not only here, you will enjoy after your death also, you will enjoy here. This is thus those who live according to religious principles and who follow them by word, mind, body, and intelligence are related to the heavenly kingdom, which are devoid of all miseries. Being thus rid of material influence, they achieve unlimited happiness. So they are alluring him, they are telling, okay, up also you go down. But if you don't do, then they are telling the consequences. O great hero, for this reason, you should not be the cause of spoiling the spiritual life of general populace. If their spiritual life is spoiled because of your activity, you will certainly fall down from your opulence and royal position. So they are warning him. So if you do, it is not good for you. And they said, when the king protects citizens from the disturbance of mischievous ministers as well as from thieves and rogues, he can, by virtue of such pious activities, accept taxes given by his subjects. Thus, a pious king can certainly enjoy himself in this world as well as in the world. So then they are telling, see, here also you'll enjoy, there also, and you are doing so nice activity, and you can take taxes, and in that way you can legally enjoy everything. And the king is supposed to be pious, in whose state the citizens and general purpose strictly observe a system of 8 orders of Varna Ashrama, and where all citizens engage in worshiping Supreme Personality governed by their particular occupation. So he's telling you set an example. Be a pious king. So because of which it will help whole society. So this is what they are instructing. So he in this previous shloka, they are told about responsibility of the king, and he says that you can collect taxes. So here also they are telling you be pious. You set example of being pious, and so it's a state's duty and citizens' duty to very nicely explain, very nicely explain in this verse. The state's duty, the activity of government head or king as well as the activities of citizens should be so directed that ultimately everyone engage in devotional service of Supreme Lord. So this is what the duty is of the state also, of the citizens also, to serve the Supreme Lord. The king or government head is supposed to be representative of Supreme Lord and is therefore supposed to see that things go so nicely and that citizens are situated in scientific order comprised of four varnashram ashramas. So now what is happening? The presently the king or the government, they are not helping people to be God conscious. That is the reason they, no matter whatever they do, the citizens are dissatisfied only. They are doing so much hard work, but it don't work only. Why? Because you are not giving them real solution. You are giving them stopgap solution. We say, okay, we'll make good infrastructure, we'll establish so much factories, and we'll do this, we'll do that. And you give them nice job, then they will not be happy with that. They want more, they want more. Never people will be satisfied, because why Varnashrama is so much here insisted is because it will reduce the envy of the people and the competitive mentality. As long as people are left to the open market and competitive environment, they continue to struggle and they continue to remain unhappy. They remain, that's a very hostile situation for the mind. And there is so much aggression that comes, that all damages the mind and person remains unhappy. So that's why is a very scientific way it is developed, where people live free from envy. This is why this scientific, the social structure is given. And Vishnu Parat is stated that unless people are educated to are situated in the scientific social order comprised of four varnas, society can never be considered real human society. You see? So this is a very scientific. People are educated or situated in the scientific social order comprised of four varnas. Society can never be considered real, nor can it make any advancement towards the ultimate goal of life. It is the duty of government to see that things go on its terms of Varna and Ashrama. So it is not the responsibility of ISKCON, it is the responsibility of the state. That's why, because we are very small and very tiny, so we can make some attempts, but ultimately, unless government decides, nothing will happen. So here, as stated herein, Bhagavan Yajna Purushaha, like Bhoktaram Yajnatapasa. Krishna is the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices. And Prabhupada writes further, Yata Pavitr Prapritir Bhutanam Yena Sarvam Idam Tam Swakarmanam Tam Abhyarcha Siddhim Vindati Manavaha. So by worshipping Supreme Lord, one can attain perfection. So this is the system. So in other words, the state or the government must not deviate from its duty by declaring that the state is a secular one, which has no interest in what whether or not the people advance in Varnashrama Dharma. You see, the government cannot make people Krishna conscious, but they can help people to live and advance in Varnashram Dharma. This is the, at least this can be possible, because that helps them to uh, become free from envy and live a peaceful life, at least materially peaceful. Today, people engage in government service and people who rule over the citizens have no respect for Varnashram Dharma. They complicatly complacently feel that the state is secular. In such a government, no one can be happy. See, very rightly said. Why? Because of the same thing. They are living in an envious and envious environment. The people, they cannot be happy. Mind is always in a competition. You have to become like I was telling, like the cook never want to become the king. Or a farmer don't want to become a big no, industrial giant. Why? Because he is satisfied and is contributing something to the society. That is the real satisfaction, not the result. So Kshatriya is happy because he's giving protection, not that he's giving a big palace and he can have 2, 3 wives. No. So that is not the purpose. So everybody is satisfied and Brahmana is satisfied. So people can be happy. Prabhupada is very clearly telling. So no one can be happy otherwise. And that's actually what is happening. And government is trying to give some material benefits, not knowing the real solution. Where is the problem only? They don't understand only. Because this capitalistic society, the progress is measured based on how much people are how people are consuming. So consumerization. So consumer means what? It's a competition. Like no, I get every day almost weekly 1, 2 calls from the bank. Take a credit card, take a credit card. And what is the different motivations they say? Whenever you need urgently. And one motivation was very nice motivation. They said that, see, there will be so many offers. If you want to purchase, you get so much discount on your items. If you use this card, you get discount on your items. If you get use this. Now, then it was so, I thought, oh, it's nice. I can get some discounts. Then I thought, but I don't need anything to purchase. So what happens is I take a card and now you want to use it. So which we don't want also will purchase. Like what we need is we want to have some prasadam and then travel. So apart from that, brahmacharis don't need anything. And you don't get any discounts on the dress which we are wearing. It's a simple one. So now, but the allurement is there, and for others it's much more complicated. Like so, the point is what they're making us consumers, and they're leaving us to an open market where we struggle. And in that way, the industrial giants they expand themselves. But Varnashrama is such a system where you don't become a consumer. No, unfortunate for the economy that you don't become consumer. India, why it is Indians are still very peaceful in America at one level is because they save money. Indians have a habit of saving. They are not completely consumers. They know that we have to save money for the future. This habit is there. It helps them. And anyway, so we will come to the discussion because that's a different topic on. O noble one, if the king sees that the supreme personality of God is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation super soul within everyone is worshipped, the Lord will be satisfied. So it is a fact that government's duty is to see that the Supreme Lord is satisfied by the activities of people as well as the activities of the government. So there is no possibility of happiness if the government or citizens have no idea of Bhagwan. You see, there is no chance only. That's why. So see, okay, if you take undeveloped countries or third world nations or second world nations, we see that they have a problem. They are not happy. But we see even advanced nations, most advanced countries, there also no possibility of happiness. Why? Because they don't have idea of Bhagavan. That's what Prabhupada is telling. That is the motivation for Prabhupada to go to America and preach because he is fully convinced that they cannot be happy because they don't know Bhagavan. They are very advanced, but it is not possible. If they have no knowledge of Bhuta Bhavana, who is Vishwatma, or the super soul, the soul of everyone's soul, the conclusion is that without engaging in devotional service, neither citizens nor the government can be happy in any way. At the present moment, neither the king nor the government is interested in seeing that the people are engaged in devotional service. Rather, they are more interested in advancement of missionary of sense gratification. You see, this is how the people are going. And that's what is considered success. Consequently, they are becoming more and more implicated in the complex machinery of stringent laws of nature. People should be freed from the entanglement of the three modes of nature and only process by which this is possibly surrender unto Supreme Lord. This is advised in Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, neither the government nor the people in general have any idea of this. They are simply interested in sense gratification and being happy in this life. The word Nija Sasana indicates that both government and citizens are responsible for the execution of Varnashram Dharma. Once the populace is situated in Varnashrama, there is uh, every possibility of real life and prosperity, both in this world and in the next. Okay, any questions, comments? We'll end here. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam.